How did you prepare for the role of Eleanor, especially for the role of someone who suffers from a mental illness?
To be honest, I think Eleanor wasn't paranoid schizophrenic. She was diagnosed as that. But like in the 80s, apparently, when I did my research, a lot of psychiatrists, friends of mine, said everything had schizophrenia. It was just like, oh, well, that's the label. Let's just give it, And that's what Colette, and I spoke to the real Colette, and she still feels today that Eleanor was not, she wasn't that mentally ill. But she did have a lot of illness attached to all this endless prescription of really vicious drugs, thorazine and Mellaril. They're famously, I don't think they use them anymore. I think one is used. You have more responsibility. You definitely have a bigger responsibility. And particularly someone who was unknown in a weird way, because there wasn't any footage of her. All I had was this photo. So I emailed lots of questions to Colette, who was in her own way ill at that point. She wasn't well. And she sent me lots of answers.
So this is how you prepare for your roles, doing some researches on your own and collect informations?
But it's like, you want to make sure, it seems a bit excessive. My ex used to always say that I was like a lawyer or writing a biography or thesis. But but I kind of feel like if you expect people to suspend their disbelief, you have to suspend your own disbelief first. You have to believe that you know your stuff. And it's I feel like you have to earn people's trust. You're like, no, believe you me, I know what I'm talking about now.
What is so special about Eleanor?
I think there was so much complexity and so much colour to play. And also, I think she was so brave, the courage. She made her own destiny. You see her in the worst moment, being manhandled into a cell, being poisoned by these drugs, and somehow she gets to a telephone and gets a lawyer and fights. And it's the fight in her that's extraordinary. And she was, she fought not just for her, she fought for everybody on that ward and all the other people that she felt should have a right to say how much they should be taking, because she felt they were being abused.
In the movie, Eleanor and Colette have a very special and close relationship. How did you like working with Hillary? Had you met her before, or did you meet on set for the first time?
You know what? It was a dream. It was an absolute dream. And again, it's the sort of thing with the film, which was characterised. It was a lot of stress, no money, no time, and very last minute things happening. And I like to be really prepped and everything to make sure that everything, give us windows for disaster, because always things don't work. There was no window for disaster at all. It was just like, this is going to be a car crash, or it's going to have liftoff. And so Hillary came in like 3 days before shooting. But I had no idea 3 days before, neither did Hillary, neither did anyone, if it was going to work. And I just said, this is basically a love story. And if there's no chemistry between us, it's going to be like... and as soon as she walked in, I thought, you're perfect. And she's so warm. She's got a massive heart. And she's special. She's got some Red Indian blood. There's something very sort of old soul. And it was perfect. We had a love affair. And a fun affair, too.
You played so many different characters. Some of them were really eccentric, like in Harry Potter or Alice, and some rather normal, for example, in The King's Speech. What do you prefer to play?
I don't really think of somebody's weird or normal. I just like, each person has their joys and their, it's like meeting someone, like having a friend. You're like, I want to spend time with that person. And I don't go like, oh, I like playing crazier than not, because that's generalised. And what I try to do with each part is be as specific as I can. But I do always have probably a surplus amount of ideas, and probably there's too much going on. And it's a character part that I get more stimulated by than internalising everything. So it might be a bit over the top, but that's what I enjoy doing. And dressing up.
Mm-hmm.
And not being myself. That's the thing. I've never been in it to exhibit myself or be myself. I want to get away from myself and dress up. It's fun. It's liberating. Yeah. And also we all have the potential to be many selves.